morning everyone. As promised, I've come back. As I said the other day, talking to this phone is not natural for me at all. However, the response I got the other day was very much appreciated. I'd like to thank you all very much for all your kind comments and your private messages and everything. Yeah, thank you all very much for that. It meant a lot. As I promised the other day, I've come in now to tell you a bit about my story. Hopefully, by me sharing my story with you and my journey through recovery, hopefully it'll help some more of you than me writing things and everything. It'll be a little bit more personal, so it'll give you more idea. So I'll get started. Any information that I give, I'll be sharing in the comments below in the video description, and any information at all. Also, if people are watching this that aren't a member of the group at the moment, the group details and everything will also be in the description below. My journey started when I was young, but I'll start from the main part. So we're going to go back to Friday the 13th of July in 2012. Yeah, it was Friday the 13th. I went to work in the morning. I was working inside a car, and I was underneath the glove box doing some wiring. Realised I needed something else from my van, and I got out of the car really quickly. I banged my head on the top here as I come out of the car, and it knocked my chin into my chest, so I got like a double impact into the head. I finished the job, I was okay and everything, but driving home, the job was in Bentham, which is about 15 miles from my house. Driving back from the job, I didn't feel right. I knew that my vision was a little bit funny. About a mile from home, it looked like the windscreen was melting. It looked like the glass was melting. Anyway, I managed to get home. My wife took me up to A&E. We got seen, got told I'd got concussion, go home and rest, which I did. Actually, I ended up coming home and I pretty much, all my energy went, and I was actually in bed till about Monday then, but that was obviously a Friday, so I was in bed. The Saturday I was very lethargic and still in bed. My wife was going to a concert that night, and I can remember that I wasn't feeling right, and I remember being on Google and writing on my phone, and I had fluid coming from my nose, and I was Googling that, and obviously that was telling me that I've damaged my brain and I'm going to die, and all sorts of things. Now looking back, I'd created a lot of fear at the time. Anyway, carrying on with the journey, the Monday I started to get up and do little bits. Slowly throughout that week I was getting better. The following Monday I went back to work, managed to do one job. On doing the second one, I remember coming over feeling this overwhelmed feeling, really dry throat. I hear a lot of people writing about a dry mouth, and I had a really metallic taste. Bearing in mind, I'm going back sort of 7 years here, and these are the things that I still remember. I'm not doing this by a book or anything, so I'm going to make mistakes and stuff like that, but I'm doing this off my memories. So yeah, I remember this really dry mouth. Came back home after that, and I didn't feel good at all. I can remember sounds echoing in my head. I couldn't listen to people's voices, and that went on for a couple of days. And then I noticed that I became light sensitive as well. I was struggling with light. I wasn't sleeping at all. I wasn't getting any sleep at all. So this went on for a couple of weeks more, and at that point I remember ringing the doctors and saying, look, I'm still struggling with this. Right, okay, no problem. It's concussion. You've gone on to sort of like post-concussion syndrome. It can last sort of 6 weeks. Right, okay, no problem. So I carried on with this, not sleeping, and I was getting the odd sort of hour here, hour there, and I was still having all these funny feelings, like feeling weak, and I remember that there was times I was feeling weak, and there was feelings where I had like electricity running through my body. My muscles were getting like drained, but then I remember being quite skittish, quite irritable, you know. And then about another 2 weeks into this, my face, as the last couple of weeks were going on, my face was getting really sore. Certainly around here, and all the tension and into my eyes, and I said to my wife, I said, I've done something, you know, I've broken my jaw. When my jaws hit my chest, I've broken my jaw or something. I need to go to the hospital. We went up to hospital. They asked all the history and everything. She had a good feel around. She said, no, you've not broken your jaw, you've not damaged your jaw. She asked about the story, and I told her, and she said, you're suffering with anxiety. At this point, no, I'm not suffering with anxiety. I've got post-concussion syndrome. I've damaged my jaw, you know. She said, you're suffering with anxiety. She said, do you find you're clenching your jaw a lot and everything? I said, no. I said, I've got post-concussion syndrome. I've had a bang to my head. So anyway, we had a bit of a, you know, this disagreement sort of thing, really. You know, not rudely, but I didn't agree with what she was saying. Anyway, come out of the hospital, got myself home and everything. And at this point, I was getting pretty room bound at this point, because I couldn't deal with noise. I couldn't have a conversation with someone. I couldn't concentrate long enough. I was becoming light sensitive, so normally blinds were down, and so I was getting pretty bad at this point. So yeah, this was the first point where someone told me I'm dealing with anxiety. So that evening, I remember sort of sitting there, propped up in bed, and thinking, I am clenching my jaw. You know, this was the first time I'd realised it, but once somebody says, it makes you pay attention to it. So yeah, I realised, okay, I am clenching my jaw. She's right. So next time my wife come up, look, you know, I've realised I am clenching my jaw here. Can you go and do a bit of a search on? I couldn't look at a phone at this point. I couldn't concentrate for long enough. Phones were out of bound for me. So I said, can you do a bit of a search on Google, Dr. Google, for anxiety? So yeah, off she went, and then finished, come back up with these fantastic deep breathing exercises. So yeah, tried these deep breathing exercises. Nightmare. This is why I make a big point on the group. Don't tell people to deep breathe. It's not deep breathing, it's nice, slow, calm breathing. I started deep breathing exercises, what were on Dr. Google. I ended up all tingly, vision going really bad, me going white as a sheep, tingling from head to toe. My heart started beating, because obviously that created anxiety. So I ended up with an ambulance out, called an ambulance. They came out, did all the tests and everything. He said, yeah, you're quite bad. I said, yeah, I'm dealing with post-concussion syndrome. He said, oh, I have heard that before, but he said, this seems like more breathing, you know, like anxiety and that. I said, yeah, I've been told this as well. I'm gonna ring doctor tomorrow. So yeah, that was probably about week 8, that. So yeah, rung the doctor the next day. I couldn't go out. I was in a mess at this point. I was definitely room bound now. So the doctor ended up coming out. I managed to get downstairs I was sat here actually, where I'm sat right now. And yeah, the doctor took a description of everything that had been happening, and she said, yeah, you're definitely suffering with anxiety. We'll prescribe you with amitriptyline. You'll be better in 2 weeks. Wow, brilliant, absolutely great. So here's me thinking 2 weeks time I'll have my life back. And so yeah, the doctor prescribed amitriptyline. I couldn't take it at first. I was terrified of taking it, but anyway, in the end I took it, and I got the first good night's sleep that I'd had in weeks of amitriptyline. Um, yeah, the first night I slept, the second night I slept, the third night I think the joy had overcome me again, and I was back to panicking and anxiety and everything. So time ticked on again. About another 3 weeks passed, still bad every day. Like I say, room bound. I was sat with earplugs, ear defenders on. I'd become that sound sensitive. A lot of the time, the blinds were down, the light was off, the room was dark. There was even times where the room was light and I was sat with a blooming towel over my head. You know, it was just crazy. I was in a really bad way, really bad way. That doctor ended up leaving to go to another surgery, and at this point I rang and made an appointment with the family doctor and realised I needed to get out, needed to go and see him. It was someone I'd seen for years for other things, and I trusted him, you know. So I went to see him. I remember being in his office and just saying, like, help me, you know. He said, well, I can help you, but he said you have to do a lot yourself. I said, yeah, I'll do anything. So he, at that point, told me amitriptyline was absolutely no good at all for how anxious I was. It was used in the olden days for anxiety, when they just wanted people to be numb in a chair, sort of thing, you know. So they used to drug them with amitriptyline just so that they were spaced out. It's used now as more of a sleeping thing and a painkiller. So he said the amount of amitriptyline that I would need to help me with my anxiety would almost just put me to sleep. So at the time, he put me on citalopram and propranolol. And at that same time, also told me he was going to put me down for therapy. So that was it. So yeah, still weeks went by and I was still panicking, having great anxiety, panic attacks. I was having what I told people were daily panic attacks for hours and hours and hours. I'll get back to this. This is just a brief bit of my story, and then I'm going to split it up into more videos of breaking each bit down and how to overcome it, because otherwise it's going to be an hour-long video and people just don't want to sit watching a video for that long. So so went to the doctors. He put me on citalopram and propranolol and put me down for therapy. From seeing that doctor then, he used to see me every 2 weeks then for updates, waiting for therapy. It was about 4 weeks, only about 4 weeks, when I went to see this lady who I went into a room in the mental health offices, and she sat down, she took all my history and everything, she went through my past. She pretty much linked 1999 as being my sort of bad year. A lot happened in 99. I had a good and bad, really. May the 2nd, my eldest Renee was born. On May the 29th, my friend, me and him were moving a safe, and he had a massive heart attack in front of me. I tried helping him, but it just wasn't happening. The paramedic that turned up said even if he was there on site, he wouldn't have brought him round. But that didn't help at the time, you know. So that was May 29th. In June, I had relationship difficulties and ended up breaking up from a long-term relationship. And in July, my dog died, and it was just one thing after another in 1999. It was just a bit of a roller coaster of a year that really took a hit. I thought I'd dealt with it okay. It seems, as I'll get to a bit later on, I hadn't. That was my main year that I'd really let get to me. So yeah, so I was sat in this office with this mental health therapist. She was going through everything, and she said, I'm suffering with anxiety and depression. I said, no. I said, I'm not depressed. I said, I'm an happy-go-lucky person. I just want my life back. And she said, right, well, that's up to you, but you are suffering from anxiety and depression. I said, well, look, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. I said, just help me. I just want my life back. So I said, right, well, I'll put you in for CBT therapy. Brilliant. So she gave me this, again, it's all these realizations. She gave me this form, questions to go. Again, I'll take a picture of this, I'll put this in the files, I'll put it under this video as well. You'll all have access to everything I've had. So she gave me this sheet of questions. She said, go home, read them. Well, I couldn't read at that point, but I was sort of like, my eyes were really tense and I was sort of holding things up and squeezing them. Yeah, at that point, things were extremely bad. I couldn't have, I was like that. And so, yeah, these questions, I remember going through these questions, and I think, I can't remember now, I think there's about 80 questions on the sheet, and I think sort of 70 of them I was positive for, so I thought, okay, maybe I am anxiety and depression, so yeah, anyway, I was seeing a doctor every 2 weeks. Doctor was keeping up with medication and just making sure that I was slowly going the right way, which at this point I wasn't really improving. There was nothing that was making me improve, because I couldn't read any research, I couldn't get any help anywhere. I felt really lonely, which is why the groups started, but at that point they were in my mind. So yeah, about another few weeks, and a lady called Taryn got in touch with me. I went to her office. We were in a little room, and she could see how bad I was. I was like my head down and my eyes were closed, and I was so tense. And so, yeah, she said, I'm going to be honest. She said, I don't think I can help you. You're quite extreme. She said, I'm pretty new to this. I said, look, I'll do anything you ask me to do. Just please try. So she did. And this is where I started the cognitive behaviour therapy, and this is why I believe in it strongly. You do have to work a lot yourself, and you do have to get on with your therapist. There is a relationship. I'm going to stop the video here, because I'm going to break each cognitive behaviour therapy up into sections to hopefully help you more. What I will tell you at this point, the first thing in that first CBT therapist session, the first thing she taught me was breathing, and it was breathing in for 4, holding for 6, and exhaling for 8. And by doubling your exhale from your inhale, it releases the anxiety. Now, she said, do this when you're anxious. Well, I was anxious 24/7, so I was literally, the first few days I was doing this every minute of every day, this breathing. At first it made me more anxious, but as time went on, it did help. So right now at this point, I'm going to hopefully do some more videos later anyway, so hopefully I'll be moving quite fast with all these sessions. But at this point, if you are extremely anxious, if you're feeling really, really, really like it's, just try that. My breath was all I had. I couldn't see things, I couldn't read, I couldn't research, I couldn't hold conversations at that time. My breathing was all I had, so I really, really focused on my breathing. And once I began to get it right, things changed. As you're going to learn, I'm going to go through with you now. But believe me, all the things you're suffering, the blurred visions, the lightheadedness, the knots in your stomach, the pains, the dry mouths, the heart beating. I mean, crikey, I used to lie on the bed and I used to honestly think my heart was jumping out of my chest. It used to beat that much. I was lightheaded, I was dizzy, I didn't have energy to walk. I could barely get to the bathroom. I was literally room bound. I used to have panic attacks. I'd be curled up in the corner of the bedroom floor, shaking, and whatever you're feeling, whatever I know it's scary, I know it's really scary, but believe me, it's a normal body reaction to fear. And I'm gonna take you on a journey of what to do and how to do it, and you know, hopefully it'll help in some way. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. But just break it all down. Um, Breathing. Just if you're anxious, if you're extremely anxious, do the inhale for 4, hold for 6, and exhale for 8. If you're struggling with the timing, don't worry too much. Just try and make the exhale longer than the inhale. Do that while you're anxious until you calm down. If it takes you all day, do it all day. You know, you'll know when you've calmed down, you'll feel it. But that's what you need to be aiming for. You need to be aiming for that calm feeling, and you will get there, I promise you. I'm going to share lots of links in the videos. If you haven't seen video 1 about where the group come from, if you're watching from outside the group, please go and have a listen. If you're interested in joining, join. If you're already a group member, you'll see all these videos anyway. Please subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any on the group. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you very soon. But yeah, take care, be kind to yourself. Don't worry, this is not forever. All right, good luck, bye.